LENSAR has been leading the industry by developing laser technologies for use in ophthalmology since 2004. It is the only company that has evolved their technology, with 6 innovative, significant upgrades and now a second-generation robotic laser for use in cataract surgery. LENSAR was founded on the use of femtosecond laser technology to treat presbyopia. In fact, the company name LENSAR was derived from lens accommodative restoration. LENSAR began by creating a finite element model using the 30 years of research by Jerome Cusack. The model follows the natural suture development pattern Cusack found in real lenses. LENSAR configured zonular connections and model forces pulling on the lens to disaccommodate the lens shape, and learned that outward equatorial zonular forces translate to inward polar forces to compress the lens. LENSAR conducted live rabbit studies in 2006, live monkey studies in 2007 at the University of Wisconsin with Dr. Paul Kaufman as the principal investigator, and in 2008, the first human eyes were treated during clinical trials in the Philippines, with Dr. Harvey Uy as principal investigator. Dr. Ramon Urano performed the first lens-based laser treatment of presbyopia in the world in Mexico City using the LENSAR laser system. The work done for presbyopia jump-started LENSAR's efforts in developing applications for cataract surgery, specifically perfecting their imaging and measurement technology and software to guide the laser beam placement. LENSAR is the only laser that employs Scheimpflug imaging, as opposed to OCT for a more complete view of the lenticular structure. LENSAR has experience in flat, curved, and water bath interface devices. In 2010, the first patients were treated outside the United States using the LENSAR laser to create a capsulorhexis and fragment a cataractus lens.
The laser was easier to use than I thought. It was faster than I thought it would be. It made a beautiful centered capsulorhexis.
Well, it was perfect.
Perhaps the eight slices combined with the spheres will be the final conquering of the cataract surgery.
In 2013, LENSAR received FDA clearance to create laser arcuette incisions, or AIs. LENSAR's unique GUI makes planning incisions precise and easy for surgeons and laser operators. This upgrade allowed most incision parameters to be pre-programmed for surgeons. Surgical incisions can be a single plane, dimple up, or 3-plane geometry, and AIs can be added with preset percentages, depth of cut, and can include alignment marks to allow for cyclorotation. AIs can be programmed to include arc length and the axis of the incisions. The second AI incision is automatically added at a 180-degree offset. The surgical incisions can be moved towards the limbus, and when the diameter of the eyes is manually changed, the dimensions of the incisions are automatically adjusted to maintain a constant arc length. After intraocular treatment is complete, incisions are commenced. The first video shows a 3-plane incision that was cut in the cornea, and in the second video, AIs were cut to a 90% depth. LENSAR is known for listening to the needs of surgeons and developing technology to support these needs. Streamline 1 was the result of surgeon requests for more efficiency and precision when using the laser for astigmatic management. This upgrade included new applications, wireless integration with Cassini and iris registration. With Streamline 1, the preoperative data is wirelessly transmitted to the laser. During imaging, the laser compares the iris of the patient docked to the laser to an iris image captured on the Cassini preoperatively and automatically compensates for cyclorotation. Streamline 1 also incorporated localized corneal imaging. Small laser spots are applied in the cornea prior to the laser treatment. After lenticular treatment is complete, LENSAR's imaging locates the corneal marks to determine if there is eye movement prior to starting each incision. This localized imaging allows the laser to automatically compensate for eye movement to ensure precise and complete incisions. In 2017, LENSAR released Streamline 4, which included the ability to add lenticular marks at the steep axis of astigmatism. Professor Efekan Koskun-Seven demonstrates how Streamline 4 allowed him to take preoperative data from his Nidec OPD3 and import it into his LENSAR laser for precise toric IOL alignment. Once the data is imported, the laser programs the placement of the IntelliAxis capsular marks to guide the alignment of the toric IOL. After docking and scanning the patient for iris registration, a 10-degree cyclotorsion is noted and compensated for by rotating the capsular marks accordingly. The steep axis marks are easily seen after the laser treatment is complete and throughout the case for precise and easy toric IOL alignment. This proprietary feature is unique to LENSAR lasers. The most significant advancement in laser cataract surgery happened in 2022 with the development of the ALLY robotic cataract laser system. Only the ALLY system combines robotic intelligence and precision with surgeon expertise, enabling surgeons to deliver optimal treatment outcomes and efficiencies to more patients.
I didn't know a lot what to expect. I had been involved in the R&D in it. There was some feedback on the design. I knew some things were going to be different. I knew that we were going to have the 6 cameras instead of the 1 camera that rotated around. So I was very excited about that. And I knew that that was going to add some speed. I also knew that it was a dual pulse laser, which meant it had 2 different laser pulses, one for the intraocular structures and one for the corneal structures and the things that we do to the cornea. So I was curious about how those treatments would be and how they would work and how it would be in the operating room once we did the laser treatment. The initial response that I had was, it was just basically a huge improvement and upgrade and refinement of the previous version in every aspect. Okay, the footprint, the design, the ergonomics of it, the ease of use, the speed, obviously, with the 6 cameras, and the quickness of the laser upgrades to this dual pulse laser was probably what blew me away the most. Is like, you know, we used to wait a couple seconds for the capsulotomy to be completed. New device, the ALLY, the speed of it, there's no time for the patient to move and cause any trouble. So when I got into the operating room, naturally, the capsulotomies were perfectly smooth edges, which was a whole level up from not only the previous generation of the LENSAR device, but also from the Victus, which I've used, and the LensX, which I've used. It was phenomenal. Now, the speed overall freed up a lot more time in the operating room for me, allowed me to move quicker, allowed me to be able to be involved in my fellows' cases more because I wasn't in the laser room, or he or she wasn't in the laser room as long. And it improved the overall efficiency and flow of our day and just made the pace a little better. No downtime. You know, I know it sounds kind of silly, but when you're sitting there in front of a device like a laser and it's doing its job of imaging and waiting and the software's cooking, you're kind of sitting there twiddling your thumbs for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, or even during the laser treatment time. And those idle moments, although it doesn't seem like it would be a big deal, for a busy refractive cataract surgeon, they need to stay in the zone and stay in the pace of the day to stay focused and sharp. So any distractions like that and downtime can be, it can just disrupt your mental flow. And it's a weird thing, but it's kind of like the equivalent of an athlete, of how they get in the zone when they're, like at the end of the game, when the time is running out, or in the playoffs. I mean, this takes a lot of intensity to do what we do, case in, case out, paying attention, making sure every case goes perfect. So the more automated, the better flow you have through your day, and the more seamless the whole process is, it's just going to translate into a better result ultimately for the patient and a better experience for the surgeons involved.
6 cameras instantaneously image the eye, and robotic image processing determines anterior and posterior surfaces of the cornea and lens, and determines lens morphology. The system then recommends an optimal laser treatment pattern designed to reduce energy and time in the eye. With the industry's first dual modality laser, the ALLY system is optimized for faster and more efficient treatment in the lenticular and corneal tissue, building on the features from the prior LENSAR laser system, including localized imaging, wireless integration, and iris registration. The ALLY system is the next generation in laser cataract surgery.